My awakening took place in 2004. I come up to this guy and this healer, and he goes into a trance. Like his eyes turn white completely. He doesn't remember what he does. He's in complete trance. He comes up to me and he takes his thumb, puts it in my mouth. Next thing I know, I am out of my body and I'm standing behind his shoulder looking at myself. And all of a sudden, he takes surgical scissors, puts it in my nose. I'm watching myself the whole time. I'm trying to open my eyes. I can't do it. He takes it with the bottom of his palm. He hits it, and it goes inside my nose and hits from the inside into my skull. That was my first out of body experience that I had, which I did not understand anything about spirituality. All of a sudden, I had so much energy, so much power. I can move mountains. All of a sudden, I feel an orb flies right through my body. I'm like, what is this feeling? I'm like, angels? What are you talking about? What happened to me? What is going on here? By the time I came back home, it was hell. I closed myself in my room and I stayed in my room because I was feeling and seeing everything. I would venture out into the Ashtar Command, to different spaceships. And during those 4 years, I accumulated $150,000 worth of credit card debt. My awakening took place in 2004. I was 24 years old. I did not know anything about spirituality. There was nothing about, there was no chakras, no angels, none of that stuff. I ended up going to Brazil to see a healer for my mother, not for me. And when I arrived there, this healer was doing two types of surgeries. One was visible and the other one was invisible. The invisible surgeries, you come into a room, they say a prayer, 10 minutes or so, and you leave the room. And it's like about 10 or 20 people at a time. And he would do like 1,000 surgeries a day. Okay. My turn comes up. I come up to this guy and this healer, and he goes into a trance. Like his eyes turn white completely. Okay, he doesn't remember what he does. He's in complete trance, and he does this for about 3 days out of a week. Okay, so I come up and I'm like very curious of what's going on in this place. Everybody dresses in white, and they know, like, it's like the whole system does not charge a penny. It's all free. I'm like, okay, I'm just curious what's going on there. I come up and he says, "Do you want a surgery?" I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna give me an invisible surgery. I go to a room, I sit there or something like that. No, he stands up, he comes up to me and he takes his thumb, puts it in my mouth. Next thing I know, I am out of my body and I'm standing behind his shoulder looking at myself. And I look to the side and I see the silhouette of his body. And all of a sudden, he takes surgical scissors, the scissors with a round tip, surgical scissors. He takes those scissors, puts it in my nose. I'm watching myself the whole time. I'm trying to open my eyes. I can't do it. He takes it with the bottom of his palm. He hits it, and it goes inside my nose and hits from the inside into my skull. He twists one way, twists another way, pulls it out, says, "Spit." I spit a little bit of blood, and I'm back in my body, literally back in my body. And I'm like, what is going on? That was my first out of body experience that I had, which I did not understand anything about spirituality. After that, they put you in a room where you're supposed to relax for 24 hours. Okay. They they basically brought me to another room first to kind of recover for about 30 minutes or an hour, and then they take you to your hotel room. For the 30 minutes that they took me into that room, to recovery room, all of a sudden I had so much energy, so much power. I can move mountains. And I got up out of the bed. And I'm like, I want to leave. I want to go. I want to play. I want to do stuff. And then the woman that was working there, they're all mediums. She just taps me on my shoulder and like, relax. And I go, "Phew," back right into bed. I'm like, what just happened? It was like, she just tapped me and I went back into bed. I go into my room. 24 hours, you're supposed to stay in your room by yourself. So I'm laying there, close my eyes, and all of a sudden I feel an orb flies right through my body. I'm like, what is this feeling? I'm not understanding because there's nothing on the internet. You know, MSN Messenger was just being created, so there was no Yahoo or Google or any search engines or any spirituality information out there yet. So I'm like laying in bed, and I open my eyes. I'm like, what is this sensation? I open the door. There's nobody there. Like I thought somebody's out. So I close the door. Again, I feel something flying in and out of my body. The following day, when I come out of the room, there was a guy there by name of Frank. And he says, "Oh, my angels told me I'm supposed to meet you here." I'm like, "Angels? What are you talking about? What happened to me? What is going on here?" He's like, "Well, there's things called chakras. You were kind of activated. Now you need to learn how to protect yourself." I was like, "Protect myself from what? What are you talking about?" By the time I came back home, it was hell. It took me 2 weeks when we get back home. I closed myself in my room and I stayed in my room because I was feeling and seeing everything. Literally, you think of a planet, I watch something on TV, I would tap into that dimensional reality. Everything that exists has its own dimension. So I was like a kid with all the powers, but no wisdom. So it took me, after that, I quit working or doing anything physical, and I spent 4 years in meditation. The 4 years that I spent in meditation, I would astral travel and come out of my body every single night. It would be times where I would travel from one energy body to another energy body to another energy body. And when I thought that I came back to myself, I would feel like, I came back. I would sit up and I look, I still see myself sleeping in bed. And I thought that I was bad, but I wasn't back because those astral projections will go from about 8 different layers of it to the point where my physical body started to stress and started to sweat because I was trying to come back to myself. I couldn't. But yet I'm nearby and I think that I woke up and I wasn't. So I continuously played because I was like, I'm doing this again. I'm doing this again. And I continuously ventured out to different universes. I would go to these universe until I became solidified there to the point that I was already recognized. I would venture out into the Ashtar Command, to different spaceships, spend time walking around those different spaceships and be part of the council and sit there and observe and communicate. It was a beautiful 4 years of experience where I completely disconnected from physical reality and I forgot what it is like to be human. I wasn't able to connect to humans. I just felt completely, utterly pushed away. I did not want to do anything with people because vibrationally I was not able to match them. I was not able to relate to them. So meditation became, and guides and different beings became my friends. So there's so much to explore through the astral plane. You can create so much and simplify this reality through those planes. It is just we have to break away from the belief systems that you've been indoctrinated from childhood. And that's what I would do. Every time I would go higher in vibration, the only way I would go higher is because I transformed the belief system that said I can't. I transformed the belief system that said something's wrong, going to happen wrong. All the fears. So every time you release a fear, you're able to expand yourself into higher consciousness. Every time you're able to transform your belief system, you're able to tap into a higher mental pattern or to a higher mental existence of other civilizations. Because we're constrained by our energy fields, which is created by our beliefs and our experiences in this life. So if you truly want to learn this, you got to keep doing it. You become professional in anything you do if you spend time out day in, day out of it. You go to the gym, you need to have consistency. If you want to become proficient in astral projection, practice it. I guarantee you, if you do it from one moon cycle, from one full moon to the next one, or from the new moon to the next one, you will become professional at it because the universe is supporting you in these cycles. So I would experiment all the time. And there were times where I was paralyzed by other beings and I tried to fight them. And then I realized that, wait a minute, let me call them back again. Let me see if they can catch me now and see if I can go through this again because the nervous system in the physical body is going through that experience. It feels it. And then until I got into my heart space, that's when I understood they all just dissipate because you're the in the center of your existence. You are the power of love. Nothing in the universe can touch you. Love attracts love. Peaceful mind attracts peace. A joyful being attracts joy. So through the astral body, we can connect to the causal body, to our soul. Because in the astral body, you have the emotional and the mental. So do not be afraid to venture out. And that's how I got connected to all the ascended masters and different beings and work with different civilizations. And then all of that changed, and I said, okay, I think I came to this earth for a reason. So I need to find connection and synchronicity here and to relate to people. So then it took me another year to ground myself and kind of start to relate to this physical reality. And during those 4 years, I accumulated $150,000 worth of credit card debt because I was flipping credit cards. So in order to meditate, so I did everything in order for me to support my spiritual journey.